in your view, you mentioned taking those photos and how important they are. What other things should a tenant keep their eye out for during a check-in or walkthrough, just to make sure that they're dotting their I's and crossing their T's?
So what a tenant needs to remember is that the inventory has been prepared by another human being, and as human beings, we all make mistakes. I did inventories myself for 15 years, and I can tell you on a Friday afternoon, 4 o'clock, when you've been doing inventories all week, you're just looking forward to getting home, nice glass of wine and putting your feet up. It's easy to make a mistake. So for tenants, when they're walking through the property, either themselves, which during COVID times, most tenants are checking themselves in, but pre-COVID and post-COVID, that will often be with either the agent or the landlord or an inventory clerk. Don't be rushed, take your time, and move furniture. If the property's furnished, move furniture. Is it concealing any existing stains to carpet, cigarette burns, those sorts of things? And appliances in the kitchen, kitchen appliances are another great source of dispute. So if the inventory says that the oven is clean, open the oven, pull the racks out. Is it really clean, or are there actually burnt on grease and carbon deposits? And if there are burnt on grease and carbon deposits, then, that needs to be photographed and noted. So I'd say, just make sure you go through carefully, slowly. Don't be rushed. If you've got the landlord with you and they're saying, I haven't got much time, I've got to get off to my next appointment, then just say to the landlord, I'm sorry, I need time to read and understand this, and I'll forward you my comments and I'll upload my photographs later on this afternoon or tomorrow. ALA, their guidelines say that if there's not an accompanied check-in, then a tenant should be given 7 days to read, check the inventory, upload photographs and make comments. That's kind of the standard in the industry.
So it sounds like the best things to keep in mind there is to look for yourself, definitely document, and as you say, don't be rushed, take your time, but certainly, I suppose, don't miss the 7-day deadline.
Absolutely. And another important aspect, another thing that causes rows are meter readings. So make sure you double check the meter readings. And it's always a good idea for a tenant just to get the mobile phone out and take their own photograph of the meter readings, and they've got it dated. And particularly where they're living in purpose-built flats, because it's very easy for an inventory clerk or a landlord to actually have taken the wrong reading. So it's important to have the serial number to be able to clearly see the serial number as well as the meter reading, to make sure you've looked in the right cupboard and you've not actually, read your next door neighbour's meter reading instead.
That's interesting, actually. I remember doing that myself, where I moved into a flat, as you say, and there's like 4 meters, and I thought, oh goodness, which one's mine? So you take a picture of all of them, and you're like, well, when I get the bill, I'll figure out which number is for my
Well, when you get the bill, that will have the serial number of the property on. So that's a really good idea, Sarah. And then of course you can match it up. Another to look out for is also mildew, existing mildew. So just events in the bathroom, around the kitchen sink. That's another thing that causes disputes. And with mildew, it's not really a case that the landlord can clean that off. Often they have to get somebody in, a contractor in, to actually take the sealant away and to replace it. So if there's existing mildew or mold to sealants, that's another thing for tenants to look out for and document if it hasn't already been done. And we do see that a lot of, not a lot, but a fair amount of inventory is initially prepared by either agents or landlords, not so much independent inventory clerks, I have to say, but where they're done by the landlord or the agent. Obviously they're biased because they love their property, and in their eyes, the property is fantastic. It will say the condition is excellent and the cleanliness is, absolutely professional. And yet even their photographs don't support that. When you have a close look at the photographs, well, actually, that doesn't look excellent to me. So that's another thing, to look out for, and to check, cleanliness of bathrooms, toilets, sinks, etc.